Don't tell me you prepared something.
Jesus.
Oh, shit.
I love it.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out here tonight.
We actually wrote thank you on the piece of paper.
We'd like to welcome all the new faces and welcome back all of our old friends. Brenda, where's Brenda at? She's not even here. Well, she qualifies as both. Because if you ask her, because we've known her for a long time, and if you ask her, she's still only 5 years old. We have some pigs over here on the stage, to the right. If you like what you see here tonight, and if you'd like us to be able to do this more often, feed those pigs. That helps make things happen, like maintenance, electric bill gets paid, new projects, so on and so forth. We're very excited to have Grant here with us tonight. We've known Grant for several years through a bunch of Will McLean festivals, a Farm to Family,
That's right.
and a couple of other various locations. His music is real, it's honest, and it's right on target. Or, should I say, left on target. It's how we feel about the social and political chaos that makes up the day. Some of it is funny, some of it is quite serious, but it's all real and true. We've always been big fans. So a couple of months ago, Grant called, wanted to know what we thought about doing a fish fry concert here at Rainbow Hammock, and we thought it sounded like a whole lot of fun. So here we are, and ladies and gentlemen, Grant Peeples.
Some of y'all know this, the background to the story that I moved out of this country in 1995. I moved to this little island off the coast of Nicaragua called Little Corn Island. I was there for 11 years, and I moved back in 2006. And this is the first song I wrote when I came back. It's called Grant's Talking Blues. Well, I'm the kind of fella that doesn't talk much. I usually stay in my seat and keep my mouth shut. But the last couple years, I started getting depressed. The popular culture had me all upset. And for a while there, I thought I was going to fold. I was starting to wig and I was losing control. So I set upon a self-therapeutic move. And I picked up this guitar and I wrote Grant's Talking Blues. And there were narcissists on the left and fundamentalists on the right. Madmen in the middle, not a savior in sight. I was overwhelmed by the lies and the danger and the doom. Your king had no clothes and there was an elephant in the room. I seen coddled kids indulged and obese, relating to the world through computer screens, oblivious to the demise of this fragile planet and how the economy was killing it. They were just trying to expand it. I seen the love of money had a nominal effect upon who your kids were and how they would act. No, it was the worship of money that was sinking that ship. Made them soft and self-centered and spiritually unfit. There was hip-hop and NASCAR and American Idol and iPods and porn stars and virtual battles. Immediate gratification hummed a collective groan, promenading through shopping malls. Oh, there was a war going on. You'd been duped and screwed by unscrupulous minions who gave away the store and stole the elections. And they started that war under false pretenses, then abandoned justice and our poor soldiers in the trenches. I started searching for answers like a starving dog, digging through this culture in search of a bone. Something to hold on to, something I could believe in, something to make sense of all the madness I was seeing. Yeah, but all that was there was sentimentality and patriotic blindness and religious banality. Flag-waving fools had pawned the future. Now they were losing their grip, but still digging in deeper. Yeah, the American experiment, it was on the rocks, all high on its fumes and deeply in hock, stumbling forward through expanding bandwidth, while leaving a hideous stain on our national canvas. You see, this is just a mall building culture, and it was in denial. Global warming kicked up, y'all just turned the dial. Bought bigger SUVs, burned coal, fertilized your lawns. But integrity's like virtue, man. You can't just turn it off and on. Anyhow, it was too late, and I despaired and turned inward, which for me, pathologically, is a dangerous venture. But I was lost and unbalanced. Things were terribly wrong. Thank God I found an antidote by writing these songs. And so that's what I do these days, try to keep my sanity. I know this whole touring folk singer thing kind of comes across like vanity. But after 50 years of living, I finally see how things work. You live life forward, and you have to figure it out in reverse. And so America's a broken dream, and civilization's a bust. But I've learned to manage my disappointment and mistrust. And that's the point of this song, that's the gist of all my tunes. But that's why this one got called Grant's Talking Blues. La-da-da. Right-wing Republican, straight white American male, gay bashing, black fearing, fox loving, tree killing, directors of real estate sales, and Obama hating and always berating the lives of these folks living free. Those tree hugging, peace loving, pot smoking, porn watching, crazy ass hippies like me. Yeah, they're tree hugging, love making, pro-choice and gay wedding, Bob Dylan digging hippies like me. Skin color blinded, conspiracy minded, protesters of corporate greed. We who have nothing most likely will, till we all wind up locked up in jail by conservative Christian, right-wing Republican, street-wide American male. And it's diamonds and dogs, and boys and girls living together in two separate worlds. Hollow and leaders, mountains of shame, looking for someone to blame. And I know just who we should blame. Conservative Christian, right-wing Republican, street-wide American males. Soul-saving, flag-waving, brush-loving, land-paving, supporters of harpoon and wheel. Quite diligently working so hard to keep the reins of free democracy. From tree-hugging, peace-loving, pot-smoking, barefoot-and porn-watching hippies like me. Tree-hugging, barefootin', peace-loving, pot-smoking, crazy-ass hippies like me. Todd Snyder. I have to admit, I did not know when they said rainbow hammock that y'all were actually rainbow people. I don't know why I didn't put that together. A number of years ago, I went to a little gathering in Tallahassee and ran into a bunch of young people who were with an organization, I guess you call it an organization, called Earth First. And I've been really impressed with them and their courage. And every now and then they ask me to come play at one of their things, and I do that. It's easy doing what I do and just, writing and singing about stuff. The hard part is doing what they do, where they stand in front of the bus or the bulldozer. And while we're here tonight, kind of around the fire, enjoying ourselves, there are kids out there sitting in trees and fucking up bulldozers. This is a song I wrote for them. I'm no church-going, deal-closing, bulldozing, real estate yo-yo. Ain't no look at me, S.O.B. gassing a Humvee to work. I'm no right-winging, scotch-drinking, golf-swinging dick around your town. Those are the men I see now, and things have really started to get ugly. My disillusion and utter revulsion are fueled by recurrent notions of peril and regret. I got a knife between my teeth and a gun below the seat. Now I'm picking up speed as I see what we need to do next. Y'all see, I'm not afraid of losing my religion, carrying on your American tradition. Got a hand on the plow and a dog in this fight. There's sweat on my brow. On the prize, wanna stop the machine, stop it dead in its tracks. You just call it a Patriot Act. I'm no flag-waving, queer-hating, tax-breaking, Ronald Reagan cowboy. Ain't no rich-living, bitch-loving son of Republican sex. Mud in bars here in old Tallahassee, that's all I see now, boy. It's time to re-roll my bedroll. I know what I need to do next. My aversion to all this greedy ambition, well, it's led to the fateful decision to cross over the line. I'm gonna shake out some gas, pitch in a match. I'm leaving black smoke and ash on the highway behind. Just see, I'm not afraid of losing my religion, carrying on this American tradition. Got a hand on the plow and a dog in this fight. There's sweat on my brow. Keep an eye on the prize. Wanna stop the machine, stop it dead in its tracks, and then call it Patriot Act. Because that is how a patriot should act. Thank you. It's my first time at Rainbow Hammer. I really had no idea that it was going to be like this. This was not a place that was built in a weekend, was it? Yeah, I can tell you. I was talking to somebody here tonight about, Appalachian State? No, that was in line at Moe's today. Sorry, I'm confused. But I went to Appalachian State University and had a teacher up there by the name of Jim Stein, taught a course called New Testament Literature. And I had been raised in the Episcopal Church. Nothing really stuck. And I never really, of course, I got confirmed and christened and all that, never really looked at the Bible. But Jim taught this course on it, and it was kind of a secular look at the Bible, see. And it was very interesting, though. I smoked a lot of weed in those days, and my attention span wasn't too good. And it was a 3-hour summer school class. And sometimes I would go in there for 3 hours and walk out and would not have taken a single note. But we were in there one day, and he said, Jesus was a revolutionary, and he died in the electric chair of his day. Now, this was 1981. I wrote it down on a piece of paper, and 30 years later. Well, Jesus was revolutionary. He died in the electric chair of his day. He broke bread with them beggars, whores, and sinners, and he pissed off the rich with the things that he'd say. Yeah, Jesus weren't no citizen distinction. Didn't pledge allegiance to your nation's flag. He'd come to town on the back of a donkey, searching for a stone upon which to rest his head. And long ago, in the land of Galilee, come a man with a beard, long hair and dirty feet. They didn't like things he said, they didn't like things he taught, so they marched him up a hill and they nailed him to a cross. Yeah, Jesus was a revolutionary. He died in the electric chair of his day. He broke bread with them beggars, whores, and sinners, and he pissed off the rich with the things that he'd say. Well, Jesus weren't no real estate investor. Didn't have a pension or an IRA. He laid up all his treasures there in heaven, and he died in the electric chair of his day. And long ago, in the land of Galilee, come a man with a beard, long hair and dirty feet. They didn't like things he said, they didn't like things he taught, so they marched him up a hill and they nailed him to a cross. Yeah, Jesus was a revolutionary. He died in the electric chair of his day. And he broke bread with them beggars, whores, and sinners, and he pissed off the rich with the things that he'd say. Jesus was a communist. He had a socialist agenda. Give it up the bread and fish, and he'd give it all away. He weren't no member of the Marion County Chamber of Commerce. He worked over tables. Well, your deals got made, and long ago in the land of Galilee, come a man with a beard, long hair and dirty feet. They didn't like things he said, they didn't like things he taught, so they marched him up a hill and they nailed him to a cross. Yeah, Jesus was a revolutionary. He died in the electric chair of his day. And he broke bread with them beggars, whores, and sinners, and he pissed off the rich with the things that he'd say. Yeah, Jesus was a revolutionary, and he died in the electric chair of his. Thank you. This is a song. I wrote this song. I wrote this song as I was trying to make an amends to my first wife, who had stood by me, not all the way, but she stood by a long time through about a 10-year period of my life in which I was really not a good guy. And I put her through a whole lot of stuff. And then she pulled out, and then right after she left, I cleaned up my act. And so about 10 years after being, clean and sober and all that, I decided I was going to write her a song as an amends. And so I wrote this song, and I had it I had it banked, and then I took it to my friend Liz Williamson, who is kind of my number one mentor when it comes to music. Have they played here? Have Liz and Lon played here? And she, in her way, she said, "Oh, that's beautiful. I love it." And she said, but maybe it was just kind of a woman's thing. She said, but she said, you wrote that from your point of view, which is, and she said, but what about if you wrote it from her point of view? And so I threw that one away, and I wrote this one. If you could find a love like the one you dream of, would it really be enough to keep you happy? See no end in sight, there's no blinding light to light your troubled path. If you need help, I hope you won't ask, for I am if you could find a place, one that keep you safe, would you even crawl that way, or just stay in your storm? See no end in sight, there's no blinding light, light your troubled path. I am in every truth you try to latch on to takes you down, won't see you through. Dust that you kicked up, well, I would give if I still knew how, but well, I am in. Here's a Facebook friend of mine. Oh, wow. All of them are here. I don't know if y'all know that in December 7th, 2012. Everybody knows December 7th is this day which shall live in infamy. From 1941, I really think that December 7th will one day be looked upon and known as December 7th, 2012, more so than 1941, because it was on that date that the 1 billionth person, that is billion with a B, subscribed to Facebook. And it's a cultural phenomenon, as all of my Facebook friends are aware of. And it's one thing, there's this unifying thing of all these people that are on Facebook, all the different colors and creeds and political persuasions and sexual identities and whatever, all of the various ranters that are on there. There's one thing that they all have in common, which is the subject of this song. They say every man should have a broken heart at least once, 'cause that's how we all grow emotionally. And I've been kicked around by a lot of women in my life, but nothing can compare to how you treated me. At times it seemed as though the pain would never go away. It was many years ago, I know, but I still feel it to this day. And I see that now, well, you wanna be my friend on Facebook. Are you fucking kidding me? Well, all the memories, they're coming right back to me now. How you lied and cheated, how could I forget? Well, I moved across the world just to get away from you. And then this morning I received your friend request. At times it seemed as though the pain was never gonna quit. You nasty little hussy, oh you narcissistic bitch. I see now, well you wanna be my friend on Facebook. Are you fucking kidding me? Well, I don't care what kind of cocktail you are, or which member of the Beatles or 1950s movie star. And I don't give a shit what your stripper name is, or if your kitty had a litter, or if Farmville's in a Twitter. I don't wanna see your new tattoo, and I damn sure won't be poking you ever again. Though now I see you wanna be my friend on Facebook. Are you fucking kidding me? No idea what time I started. Okay, I'm going to do something here. Donna said I had to do this. I got this book of poetry, and I wrote these poems. They were all, I had this big old pile of stuff, that I thought were songs I couldn't finish. And I sequestered myself 2 years ago with this, and said, okay, I'm going to go turn these things into songs, and they all turned out to be poems. And there's one on here. It's called the Mullet Poem, and I've done these fish fries, and I have never read the Mullet Poem at any of the fish fries, and I regret that. And I'm gonna try to. And then I had this idea that I thought it would be cool to put the poems in here and not tell you what page they were on, because I didn't want people to be able to. And now I can't ever find them. Okay, here it is. I grew up. I grew up mullet fishing, and it's something that today I would rather do it than eat. Really, it is one of the out of music and one of the few passions that I really have. That I would just like. I can spend all night out there. I can go out at 8 o'clock at night and come back at sunrise, and it's a magical thing for me to be out there in the water. And this is a poem I wrote. It's very short. It's called the Mullet Poem. When the warm blood that squeezes through my veins goes still, and whatever purpose may have been this life has been, and the ashes from my pyre are tossed to mingle dust and wave again, I wish the lowly mullet by to suck into his throat the brew, and to meld into his blessed flesh those splendid days when I stalked him in my youth. Clapping for poetry. Yeah, y'all have no idea. Y'all really has to do. I've had a lot of great women friends in my life, and it was kind of fun. I don't know. I told this the other day from stage, and it kind of like went weird. But last Thanksgiving, it's probably going to go weird tonight too, but you will learn I am undeterred by that kind of stuff. Just because something falls flat on its face with me one time does not mean I'm not going to try it again. And I'm not really trying. It was just last Thanksgiving, my mother, bless her heart, we were having Thanksgiving dinner, and we were talking about people. You know, you're talking about people who have died. That's kind of what you do nowadays. And we were talking about this. My kindergarten teacher, who was Betty Barnett, and she said, you know, Betty Barnett wrote me a note one time and asked me to come in to see her. And this is when I was in kindergarten. She was concerned, and so I came in, and she was concerned that you like to play with girls. And my mother, she was just straight. I mean, I guess she was looking at me if it now, 50 years later, I had an explanation for it. I don't. Except that I just like girls better, and I think a lot of it has to do with just the women who I was raised so much by my grandmothers and my great aunts. I had 3 great aunts, Aunt Euphysine, Aunt Lou, and Aunt Lila, who were my grandmother's sisters, and they were just. I spent a lot of time with them, and they babysat me when I was growing up, took care of me, and my favorite was my Aunt Lou, and I was her favorite, and I was also her godchild, her only godchild, and she had no children of her own. And she had, Aunt Lou had she's the first person, she taught me how to hammer, when she taught me how to, first time I ever baited a hook was on Hannon's Dock on St. Teresa Beach, and she was there. I remember it just as clear as ever, us cutting up the bait, and I remember cranking a Gravely lawnmower in her front yard. First time, she was the first one to ever just say, okay, you got to learn how to mow the grass, dude. And so she was just a really great teacher and a great one, a lot of fun. And she also, when we were over there, even, I spent time over there when I was 14 and 15, and my mother would drop, and we got to smoke cigarettes and drink beer. But Aunt Lou had a secret, and as we say, we call it a secret. We all knew it, but in the South, what a secret is just something everybody knows and nobody talks about. And this is a love song I wrote for her. She's been gone a while. My grandmother's sister, Auntie Lou, she wore men's slacks and loafer shoes. She had button-down shirts and a short hairdo. And us kids, we never thought nothing of it. Nobody ever dared say that word whenever we talked about her. The truth, it wasn't nothing we ever even whispered. So we just buried it with her. Aunt Lou was born in 1906. She looked so pretty in the photographs, where her eyes were like little windows to the past. And only now do I see the sorrow. Nobody ever dared say that word whenever She's driving home alone on a Saturday night. And Luke saw a board, she could drive a nail. She could run a chainsaw, make a football sail, and put a worm on a hook and cook a snake on a grill. She could chop wood like a... Nobody ever dared say that word. Whenever we talked about her, all the truth, it wasn't nothing we ever even whispered. So we buried it with her. Nobody ever dared say that word. Whenever we talked about her, all the truth, it wasn't nothing we ever even whispered. And so we buried it with her. So funny, I play that song in so many of the... Is this cherry? Is that what kind of wood that is? Cedar. It looks sacrificial. There's something. Yeah, do I get thrown in it? They used to have a thing called regicide. That was when they killed the kings. You could have folk singer side, and you bring the folk singers in, and they sing, and then you throw them on the pyre. Yeah. It would be an honor, I just want to say. A rope. Let's see. I write stuff down and then I don't do it, see. Okay, I know what I do. Okay, are y'all sing-along people at all? I mean, am I going out on a limb here? Now, you talk about dying, man. You do a sing-along and you go, okay, everybody. And then they go, I mean, am I going, what do you think? Is this what you think I should or not? Okay, so this is the part you're going to sing. Okay, I'm going to tell you the story first. Maybe I can get you interested in singing it. 2 years ago, I had a song that I had written on. It's on my record called Okemah and Ecclesiastes. Got put on hold for a movie, and it was a really big movie. I didn't know at the time that it was. They just called me and said, "Oh, we want to put it on hold. We got a 16-month contract," and I was like, "Okay, cool. What's the name of the movie?" You know, and it was based on this book that was a big-selling book called 50 Shades of Grey, and y'all act like y'all don't know what that book is. Have you read it? Not? Yeah, maybe I shouldn't do this song. You think? All right. Okay, so anyhow, I didn't write the song for the movie. This is just a story. I have no idea why they thought it was good for the movie, but it's got this line, it's got this thing in it. You know? It goes like this. It goes, "That's the kind of woman I've been looking for all my life." Okay, let's try it. That's the kind of woman I've been looking for all my life. Oh, that's perfect. Y'all are great. It was early spring. I slipped St. Louis, searching for higher ground. I rode southwest, pulled the new territory, made a circle around every town. At night I'd sleep in the open fields, the stars would watch over me. And with a stone for my pillow and a finger on the trigger, I considered what it meant to be free. A fortnight in, I stopped at a bend where the Arkansas River flowed. And a house appeared to me neath a sycamore tree, and I rode up to the front porch. A voice called out, said, "It's all right, just kick your boots off, please." I found a woman in there, she was strapped to a chair. I could tell she'd been waiting on me. And that kind of woman. Here we go. She served me black tea and biscuits in a candlelit parlor, and a fire crackled in her stove. I sat on her sofa, she come a little closer. I felt something rise in my bones. She read me some poetry from bloodstained pages, a book from her highest shelf. And then she led me by the hand to the promised land and introduced me to myself. And that kind of woman, that's the kind of woman I've been looking for. We fell fast asleep on her bed of nails. I woke up when the cock crowed twice, and I poked at the embers in her coal fire box, and things started to warm up nice. She was still half asleep. I told her my dream, a serpent taught me to fly. And then she made me roll her over, put my hands on her shoulders, give her something to remember me by. That kind of woman, that's the kind of woman I've been looking for. She was wrapped up in a blanket, she made a pot of coffee, hit me, get my boots back on. Pulled a corn out of the air and she slipped it in my pocket, walked out the door alone. She was watching from the kitchen as I saddled my pony. The window she blew me a kiss. I was well on my way, I had ridden all day before I felt it hit my lips. That kind of woman, that's the kind of woman I've been looking for. And I made my way to Santa Fe. It took a year to start my life anew. And the sleepless nights, they kind of wore me down, but I knew what I had to do. It was a 6-week ride to the riverside in hopes that that pain would be lifted. And I searched everywhere, the woman wasn't there. It was like she never existed. And that kind of woman, that's the kind of woman I've been looking for. I say that kind of woman I'll be searching for the rest of so many songs that I do. I had this teacher at Appalachian State named John Foster West, and he was a creative writing teacher. And he told me one time, he said, if you want to write a good story, one way to start it out is either start it out with somebody riding into town or somebody riding out of town. And it's so funny, like so many of the songs that I do are like that. The last song began with somebody riding out of town. And this is a song that begins with somebody, where are they riding into? They're riding into town. And this is a song that was done by a woman by the name of Michigan. And I've never met her, but I heard this song around a fire very much like this, except it was smokier, at the Kerrville Folk Festival. Oh my God, look what I just saw on my boot. That probably wasn't good for me to show that to everybody, was it? Huh? Can I just, where's the camera? Can you focus on this? Can you give a good, huh? I have. No, that's probably not even much. God, y'all are a rough-ass crowd, man. Michigan. I was around a campfire at a Gurf Folk Festival, and I heard a woman sing this song. It wasn't Michigan. And started buzzing. Was that y'all? Are all y'all buzzing? And this is a song that she wrote, and it is about, oh, how far are we from a river? We're close to a river, aren't we? This is a river song. It's a river song. This is also an allegory song. See, the allegory, I like those kind of songs. It's songs you think it's about one thing, you don't know until the end that it's actually about something else. And also, if you're a poet or a songwriter, you're interested in things like that. This is a song has no chorus, has no refrain. It's just pure narrative. If you ever try to write a song like that, they're really hard to do. Make people listen, have people listen. James went down to the market town, sitting on his daddy's knee, for to sell their cotton and to buy some livestock, and to trade their tobacco for coffee and tea. It was market day in the market town, Clay Riverside, and the streets, they were filled with strange sights and sounds. And little James, his eyes was open so wide. There were farmers and merchants, and dogs in the dust, pigs and cattle, and horses and harness, sacks of white sugar, and tins of molasses, cotton and bales, and trees sawed into planks. There was a man, and his name was Green, and he was there in the market town. He was dressed for business, and he was working the crowd. James and his daddy, they went to see the man's wares, little yard hidden from all the curious stares. That's where Green, the sole driver, with a whip in his hand, he set his stock to dancing and said, "Hey, don't they look happy?" But even little James could tell the difference in style between the grimace of pain and the smile. There was an old man of 60 with boot black in his hair. They was trying to make him look younger, like there was work left in there. And a woman with 2 daughters, and a girl with 1 son. And James' daddy, his eye fixed on the little one. And then all down the street of the market town, you could hear that girl scream as her son was sold. All the barking and the bleating and all that haggling and cheating, till it turned the blood cold. Green plied his whip till his both arms was tired, and James saw the life leave that young woman's eyes. And then he and his daddy, they took the property away, and the scars have not healed to this very day. So take care of what you do here in your market town, with all your oil and barrels and your money stuffed dust over the blood on the ground, but then you're still just whooping people to dance. And even a child will see that, and then you're gonna see what you get. This is a song. I like writing songs from women's point of view. I like writing songs about women. This is a new one. There's a basement in her heart where she keeps a little box that holds the name of every man she ever dared to love. Yeah, they're all right there. Every sad and wounded one, even those that sucked her blood, left her stranded high and dry. Still she goes down there, down those dark and dangerous stairs, where it can be too much to bear, and still she cannot get enough. Down in the basement of her heart, where she keeps that little box that holds the name of every man she ever dared to love. Yeah, it gets a little weird when she up and goes down there. It takes all she's got to shut that box and crawl back up the stairs, back to the surface of her life, where she's a mother or a wife or someone's lover on some night when she decides to try again. It's this belief in love that blinds her, so once again it finds her unafraid, and come what may, she knows that she can go back to the basement of her heart, where she keeps that little box that holds the name of every man she ever dared to love. Down those dark and dangerous stairs, where it can be too much to bear, and still she cannot get enough. Down in the basement of her heart is where she keeps that little box that holds the name of every man she ever dared to love. Down in the basement of her heart is where she keeps that little box holds the name of every man she ever dared to love. Everybody okay? I haven't been performing that long, but I have never once said from stage, "How is everybody tonight?" I've never said that once. Never said it once. I know what we'll do. I'm I'm gonna do another kind of slow song, 2 in a row, which is against my normal way of doing it. But I'm just feeling this thing right now because all of y'all are listening. I wasn't even gonna do this song. Oh, and I hope this is the right harmonica. What's his name? Snappy? Stinky. Well, what's he doing without his harmonica holder?
You know what? He wasn't much of a harmonica player. He was trying it for the weekend. He's a good musician.
Really? I'm not much of a harmonica player either.
He liked it much, and he travels all over the country and back in Seattle.
He's a player. He travels all over.
Yeah, he plays a lot of places. Mostly over in Seattle right now.
He's what? That's the right one, isn't it? I'm only doing this song because, I haven't done it in a long time, and this is a song about, I don't think I've done it. This is a song about what they do really close to here. How far is Florida State Prison from here? Start. Yeah. This is one of the few songs I ever just wrote. Was riding down the highway and heard something on the radio and just pulled over and wrote this. Strike a match, throw that switch, empty my gun, some son of a bitch. Now I ain't afraid to die. Sure hate to lose. Lethal injection blues. Open the valve. You can shut that vent. Man, I'm ready to smoke my last cigarette. You can tell that fella through the window to make his move. I got them lethal injection. Been on the wrong side of every great divide ever since I stood out in the clear. And it ain't no big thing, me leaving this earthly plane. You see, there's not a thing to keep me here. So shave my head, you can wash my feet. These are gonna be the last words I speak. You can tell that fella through the window to make his move and cure these lethal injections. No, I ain't afraid to die, but I sure hate to lose. I got them lethal injections. if I can pull out of that. Oh, I know. This is a brand new one. How could you stand there with baby blue eyes and say that you love me while telling me lies? I don't know where you've been, but you sure weren't alone. I found a picture of somebody's dick on your phone. Well, I'll give a girl credit where credit is due, and admit that your new guy, well, he's a straight shooter too. But you're a sneaky little bitch, thinking you hide that bone. I found a picture of somebody's dick on your phone. There's a picture of somebody's dick on your phone. You headed straight for the shower, but you forgot one small thing. You left your phone on the nightstand and it started to ring. And I took a gander, and what did I see? One hell of a hammer staring right back at me. So never mind the dinner. I put my stuff in the car. I took the cat stash from the freezer and the cash from the drawer. But there's just one thing before I say goodbye. Yeah, there are titties on my iPad. They're twice your size. So call me sometimes and kiss my ass at the tone. I found a picture of somebody's dick on your phone. There's a picture of somebody's dick on your phone. Okay, let's see here. Levity. There was a when I was at ASU, I was 21 years old, and I was working at a tree farm, Christmas tree farm, and I fell in love with a 35-year-old woman. She was she opened all kinds of windows for me, and not just that way, but in a whole kind of socially conscious way. This is a song I wrote for her. She passed not too long. Whenever I see a wildflower, I remember watching her swing from the barrel of an M1 rifle. Those were different days. More to lose and less shit to cling to. And she liked to live on the edge, 'cause where she was a wildflower, deep in a dark, wet flatwoods, out across the wide open spaces. This is where her heart got planted off the map. Nameless places. This is where her big dreams took her. This is where her seeds are scattered. How could I not have loved her? She was a wildflower. were blooming on the slopes of our planets. Major disasters. She wasn't afraid to face the sun, digging where the odds were against her. Rise above the bourgeois hybrids, strike a pose and show her color. Deep in a dark, wet flatwoods, out across the wide open spaces. This is where her heart was planted, off the map, nameless places. This is where her big dreams took her. This is where her seeds are scattered. How could I not have loved her? She was a wildflower. I don't think she ever really thought of winter. She always lived like she would live forever. Deep in the dark, wet flatwoods, out across the wide open spaces. This is where her heart got planted, off the map, nameless places. This is where her big dreams took her. This is where her seeds are scattered. How could I not have loved her? She was a wildflower. State song contest and I entered it and lost. God damn it. In the middle of the winter, when you need a vacation. This is dedicated to Yvette. Okay. How long have you been down here? Okay, well, you know, you're a native now, so I have to find somebody else. Okay. In the middle of the winter, when you need a vacation, come where the sun and the sand is waiting. Right down here at the bottom of our nation. I'm talking about Florida. Yeah, come on down to the Sunshine State. Bring your money, check out the place. Chances are you'll decide to stay. Hell, everybody else does. Yeah, well, there's 1,000 new residents coming down every day. They're all moving in and buying up the place. They're filling in the swamps to make some more space. And man, we're starting to need it. We got snake farms and alligator wrestlers, more state executions than anywhere but Texas. Shuffleboard and wet t-shirt contestants. Man, you gotta see it to believe it. Come on down to the Sunshine State. Bring your money, check out the place. Chances are you'll decide to stay. Hell, everybody else does. Well, we're #1 in lightning strikes, snake bites, alligator and shark attacks. We got 1 million illegal aliens to sack all our trash, clean toilets, wash dishes, and cut the grass. I'm telling you, it's heaven. We feature one golf course for every man, woman, and child. We cut down the trees you get to see for miles. Don't it seem like a place you could kick back a while? Dude, it don't get no better. Yeah, come on down to the Sunshine State. Bring your money, check out the place. Chances are you'll decide to stay. Hell, everybody else does. my sugar plantations. They're bigger and richer than most European nations. They own our politicians and hire all the Haitians. It's what you call a sweet deal. Well, everybody said it was some kind of joke when we said it ain't over till your brother counts the votes. And 12 years later, y'all elected Rick Scott. It's what you call a state steal. Come on down to the Sunshine State. Bring your money, check out the place. Chances are you'll decide to stay. Tell everybody else. Our school system rates higher than Mississippi and Louisiana. And though we ain't up there with Arkansas and Alabama, 20% of our children wind up in the slammer. And that's got to count for something. You see, we ain't got no state income tax, because we just get to screw over all the Yankees like a bet that come down here, and that makes up for that. It's a certain economy that keeps us fat. That and a lot of fried mullet. Come on down to the Sunshine State. Bring your money, check out the place. Chances are you'll decide to stay. Tell everybody else does. Come on down to the Sunshine State. Bring your money, check out the place. Chances are you'll decide to stay. Tell everybody, everybody, everybody else does. I have only, I started doing this like really late, and I was 50 before I ever sang in a microphone. 51, Donna says. Say hello to my publicist, Donna Mavity, who just sits there waiting for me to forget the words so she can call them out. And I always forget them on the songs that, like Sunshine State, which I've sang more than any song ever. But so I got started really late in this, and so when I got started, I had all these songs. I mean, I was just boiling over with stuff I wanted to sing about. So I wasn't like, I can remember like when I was in school, like kids would get a guitar and then they'd like, first thing they'd do, they'd learn how to play Smoke on the Water, or something, And I just picked up a guitar, and I learned 3 chords, and within, 30 minutes I wrote my first song. I picked a guitar up in order to write songs. I never picked up one to learn somebody else's song. And I think as an artist, that has inhibited me some. And I think that it's something that is missing in my development. And so I have really of late tried to spend some time going to finding songs that I hear, ones that really ring and resonate in my own heart, and try to learn them and kind of get my head around them. And I heard, I was at South by Southwest. I guess it was 2 years ago now. And I don't know if y'all know who Amanda Shires is. Did you see where I put my harmonica? Holder. And Amanda Shires, she's you might know her as the woman who's married to, what's the drive-by trucker guy? Come on. Jason Isbell. And so I saw her, I was there, and she was in Austin. And she said, she's got this little tiny little voice. And she's singing on stage with her husband. And she said, I just wrote this song. I'm going to sing it for you. And after I heard it, I was like, I couldn't believe, one, that she had sang that song, and with her husband there. And maybe she just channeled. But it was, and I played this song with some friends the other night, and Mark Russell, great fiddle player, said, did you write that song? And I said, no. Thank God I didn't write this song. And I tried playing this at where were we the other night where y'all came to, what was the place in the cemetery? Yeah, Prairie Creek Lodge. So I had never played this song. Still never played it for a crowd. This y'all. So, huh? Yeah, I mean, they're going, that song? Were you there? Were you? Yeah. Huh? Right. So I introduced. I said, I'm going to play this song, and I give it this big introduction like that, and then I couldn't remember the damn words to the song. So I completely fell flat. I got them right there, right tonight, just in case. But I really think I got it. But this is... If I were to break a promise I had made, would you really want me? Would you really want me to come clean? If it was really nothing, just some loneliness out on this road, the whole damn time, if I kept my eyes closed, if it was just a night, nothing really pretty to hold on to, no lights and those stars, just once could we leave it there in the dark? If I were to break a promise I had made, would you really want me? Would you really want me to come clean? If I didn't feel anything, if it will never ever happen again, if I never learned her name, can it stay lost and far away? If I were to break a promise I had made, really want me? Would you really want me to come clean? Huh? All the words, I only looked at that sheet one time. You didn't even see me looking at you, did you? It's only a 2-minute long song. Okay, we're winding down here. This is by request. I think Donna requested this. Let's see what we can pick. These fish that y'all ate tonight came from right near. Huh? I got one right here. I found one. I did good. I came here tonight, found a mic, harmonica holder, found a pick. There's picks everywhere. Very cool. I'll be sure and grab a couple of those on my way out. These fish were caught in Wakulla County, which is one of the larger counties in the state of Florida, one of the more least populated. And I live in a little town called Choppy. And I moved there when I came back from Nicaragua, and it's 372 people live in Sop Choppy, and we have 2 stop signs and one little Iga grocery store, and that's about it. And it's a really provincial little town. But one day, my grandparents used to live there. When they lived there in the 20s, there were like 3,000 people that lived there. And so it's seen its better days. They used to have movie theaters and dancing halls and hotels and all kind of stuff, and now it's just kind of a sad little place. But they've been having this 4th of July parade every year since 1946. It only started in 1946 because in 1907, when the city was chartered, they had in the charter it was illegal to fly the American flag in the city of Soc-Choppy because they were still very unhappy and pissed off about having their asses kicked in the Civil War, I guess. And so they didn't want to see the American flag, and it wasn't until 1946, when after World War II, and their heart softened up a little bit, and they decided, okay, we're going to let it fly in the city, and they started having this little parade, and it grew and grew and grew, and then until eventually it got to be a really big deal. With sometimes they would have major country acts coming in and big fireworks and this big parade on the day on the 4th of July, and we have the Soc-Choppy, that Wakulla County. We produce all this stuff. We have lumber. We have the Pine Tree Queen. We would have the Pine Tree Queen. We would have the Tupelo Honey Queen, which is Wakulla County is the heart of Tupelo production. We had the Blue Crab Queen. We had the Mullet Queen. We had the Seafood Queen, the Homecoming Queen. We had the Worm Grunting Queen. Y'all know about that? Y'all know about worm grunting? Do I need to tell the worm grunting? Do I have to tell you about worm grunting? Yes. You've heard. Everybody's knows about worm grunting. But have you know about worm grunting? You don't? Yeah, worm grunting is Soc-Choppy. Well, the national forest, Wakulla County is 90% national forest. And that area there has the highest, I guess you would say, per capita number of earthworms per meter of any place in the United States. There's something very conducive about them earthworms, which are fish bait. And so it is a cottage industry there, and has been for years, for people to go what they call grunting worms. And you go out in the woods and you take we call it a stob. I guess you would call it a stake. But it's a big piece, a big stake, stobby thing, and you take the back of an axe and you hammer it deep into the ground, and then you get a leaf spring, and you get on top of that thing, and it's kind of a big leaf spring, and you get on top and start making this motion over the top of it, and it creates vibration, and it aggravates the worms, and the worms, they can't stand it, and they come up. Yeah, and then you get your little kids, and they go out there, and they, little towhead kids get a coffee can, and they can pick them up, and they put them in, and then you take them back into town, you can buy bread and beer and whatever. And I've actually, a number of years ago, I was turkey hunting one time. I don't do that anymore, but I was turkey hunting one time in the woods, and I heard this noise, and it was like, and it sounds just like that. But it was like, there must have been like a dozen dudes out there grunting worms, and I had no idea at daybreak what the hell that was. I thought it was a bunch of hogs or something. But then they had in 1972, they came up with the Worm Grunting Act, and this was Congress actually had to pass this because one of the boys figured out that you could take like a McCullough chainsaw and crank it up and put it on top of this stob and gun it, and it would vibrate, and it was much easier. And so all of a sudden they were depleting the worms, and they had to have a worm grunting act where you could. So it is now prohibited to grunt worms with a chainsaw on federal land. And I tell you all this because, what's my point? Oh, so they had the worm grunting queen, and so we'd have the worm grunt, we have the 4th of July, and it'd just be like queen after queen after queen, and then you had your politicians and the sheriff, and it just started getting a little righteous, self-righteous, and it got a little monotonous and a little narcissistic, and there was this group of people that just decided that they were going to kind of make a statement. And I wrote a song about that. Well, the gay and lesbian sons and daughters of the Southern Confederacy, they built a float and they entered it in our 4th of July parade. And there were ladies wearing leather and men wearing lace, and others wearing pink leotards. And with a swish and a swagger, they come strutting down the street, waving stars and bars. Yeah, you gay and lesbian, sons and daughters, Southern Confederacy. Well, they built a float and entered it in the 4th of July parade. There was poster of old Stonewall Jackson and another a Truman cup of tea. And there was Billie Jean King and Elton John, but the biggest was of Robert E. Lee. Yeah, you gay and lesbian, sons and daughters, the Southern Confederacy. Well, they built a float and entered it in the 4th of July parade. Was it a finger in the eye of old Uncle Sam to wave the rebel flag on Independence Day? Or just a poke in the ribs of that long-lost cause for these queers to carry on this way? Yeah, you gay and lesbian, sons and daughters of the Southern Confederacy. Well, they built a float and entered it in the 4th of July parade. Yeah, they built a float and entered it in the 4th of July. Okay, we're going to do one more and we're going to finish with a sing-along. Do you want to do, you can pick, which one do you want to do? You want to do summer camp or do you want to do high fructose corn syrup? Oh man, these, summer, okay, we'll do summer camp. No, these two, I played for an hour and a half, my granddad had this saying, you might have heard, he said, it's too much sugar for a dime. I don't give y'all too much sugar for a dime. Plus, you've got some mullet to digest. Thank you very much for being here, and to Donna and to Dan and the Rainbow Coalition. And hey, do y'all ever have like do the kids ever show up here? Do y'all ever have the kids here? Yeah. Uh-huh. I'd love to come back when they're here. Yeah, come out.
We've had actually some really good concerts where there's some really talented musicians.
Yeah. Right. I'd love to just come in and meet some of them kids. And thank you, Donna, for being here. And where's Steve for helping me with the fish? Very much. All right, this is the song. This is the only song I've ever really made him. I made $197 off this song after taxes. I was contracted by the St. Joe Company to write a jingle for them. Y'all know who the St. Joe Company? Do they own land around here? St. Joe used to be. I don't think they are anymore. They went all my life. Huh? Yeah, they sold. Before they sold all their land to the Mormons, they were the largest landowner in the state of Florida. And for years, when I was growing up, we loved St. Joe. They were great stewards of the land. They kind of plowed everything down and replanted it. They did a lot of that, but it was all open. You could hunt on it, and fish on it. You could do what you wanted to with it, and they shared their land. And then all of a sudden, they realized that, oh my gosh, we can be real estate people instead of timber people. And so all these good old boys decided that they were going to get into the real estate development business, and they failed terribly. It looked easy, I reckon. And so they started trying to do these land developments, and one of the ones that they tried and didn't do very well with was one called Summer Camp, which is up there in Franklin County, which is just west of Wakulla County. And they went in and right on the Ochlockonee Bay and put a big wall around 690 acres and went in there and cleared it out and put in roads and used like pastels and brought in these palms from somewhere else and named, after they ran all the animals out, and then named the roads after them. They now all the roads, Bear Lane and Deer Road and Turkey Trail and everything. And but anyhow, but they got behind the 8 ball and they weren't selling any of their lots, and they asked me if I would. They hired me to write a jingle for them. And it's got this part. We're going to do is a sing along. It's got this part. I'm going to sing. I'm going to go. Come on down to summer camp. And then I'm going to go like this. And y'all are going to go, summer camp. And you got got to go just a little flat there on the end because that's the way it's. Okay. Okay, here we go. And also, I do have it's. Oh, and I've got little lights on. Nobody buys CDs anymore, but I keep making them. I goddamn sure do. And I've got a lot of the songs that you heard tonight are on these CDs that I made, and then some of them like the Dick on Your Phone song. I just made a CD, and it's going to be all those kind of songs that my mother's never going to hear, and it's called Indiscretion. I made it in Nashville, and so that'll be coming out before long. That's coming out for Christmas. That's my Christmas record. It's got what else it got? It's got Facebook song on it. It's got one called It's got the it's got the gay and lesbians song on it. It's got one called I Guess That Makes Me Just a Frog You Fucked Along the Way. Yeah, you did. It's got a couple other ones on there, but anyhow, so that's on there. But here, this is summer camp. Well, developments come and developments go. It's hard to tell the good ones from the bad ones, you know. But you can trust your friends here at Old St. Joe. Come join us down at summer camp. It's all laid out on a low, wet land. Lots of pygmy rattlers and moccasins. There were some old black bears, but hell, we shot all them. 'Cause we aim to please at summer camp. We'll build you a house, fast and cheap, on a lot with a ditch where there used to be a creek. Think of all the new rich Georgia folks that you're gonna get to meet. Your friendly new neighbors at summer camp. Summer camp, oh summer camp. A paid political development brought to you by your governor and some lobbyists. Come on down to summer camp. Oh, that was really good. There's dog flies and no-see-ums, red bugs, ticks, and mosquitoes. We got so many yellow flies, we can hardly feed them. It's one big blood fest at summer camp. The seawater's shallow, it's all brown and yucky. There's plenty of oyster shells here to cut you. And if you like sand spurs, man, we can fill up your bucket. Just bring it on down to summer camp. So come on now, seize the day. You'll never know till a hurricane blows it all away. Be the first to have your kids step on a stingray. We're one with nature at summer camp. Summer camp, oh summer camp. A paid political development brought to you by your governor and some lobbyists. Come on down to summer camp. Yeah, writing a check, it's not that much trouble. You ought to do it now and do it on the double. Don't listen to a bunch of bull about some real estate bubble. Come sign on the line at summer camp, where the sky is gray and the muck is black. There's a seaweed beach and bull shark attacks. If you love the feel of sand in your crack, bring your ass down to summer camp. Summer camp, oh summer camp. Paid political development brought to you by your governor and his lobbyists. Come on down to summer camp. Yeah, developments come and developments go. It's hard to tell the good ones from the bad ones, you know. But you can can trust us. Hell, we're old St. Joe. Come join us down at summer camp. Thank y'all very much. This is great. I love this. You actually ever light a fire here?
Yeah.
Does okay in here?
Yes.
We never do this. This is
Yeah,
the first time
really?
we've ever done this.
We did this for you.
We did this for you.
Well, so you put all the other singers get smoke in their face?
Yep.
Really? Thanks, Huh? Yeah, yeah. It's like if you can't take the smoke, don't come in the tent. Did you get cold?
We're too loud, we're too
I saw
quiet.
that. I saw that.
Cover it up there.
I saw Karen got her jacket.
I did.